hearing it loud and proud, baby. 2023 NFC North champions.
Woo! Yeah. First thing you look at when you see this game, it came down to the wire. Ifeatu Melifonwu, who has been growing right in front of our eyes, comes up with that interception with under a minute to go. What pops out to you first about this game?
Our defense. I'm telling you, Danny, the defense was optimistic. They were getting turnovers. They did what they needed to do. Oh, my goodness, man. You give them a lot of credit for why we're bringing this NFC North title back to Detroit because of what they did. They got pressure on Nick Mullins when they had to. They made him feel uncomfortable. They stopped the run. They did everything you needed to do to be a winning championship defense. That's how they played today.
Detroit Lions run defense holding Minnesota to just 17 rushing yards on the day. That turned these Minnesota Vikings into one-dimensional.
That's right.
And that's where those four turnovers came into play. 4 interceptions on the day.
Absolutely, and I love Aaron Glenn blitzing Nick Mullins. I think he blitzed in the first or second play of the game, and I love it, Dan. Let those guys prove to you that they can handle the blitz. Send it at them. That's what Aaron Glenn did. Brian Branch came on blitzes. Alex Anzalone was blitzing. Everybody was blitzing, and the thing I love, you didn't know where it was coming from. Great disguise by our defense today, and it was so effective against the young Nick Mullins.
Speaking of linebacker Alex Anzalone, he is the heart and soul of this defense. I had the chance to catch up with him post-game. All day, Alex, this defense turned over Minnesota. 4 interceptions on the day. None more important than that one with 50 seconds to go from Ifeatu Melifonwu. How did this defense just keep showing up all day?
Man, yeah, it was tough. You know, we got in a situation where they were dink and dunking the ball, and, you know, they have great weapons, obviously, and it's hard to slow them down. So, you know, once the ball was in the air, our guys were able to make plays on the ball, you know, and every catch was contested. So, you know, I'm just proud of our guys in the back end. Just keep competing, keep playing. No matter what the result is, and they were able to finish off the game.
So many implications coming into this game that the staff said, hey, focus on the task at hand. What was the level of difficulty focusing on the task at hand, knowing what was to come?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a huge game for us, huge game for the city, and you know, winning the division is something that, you know, it's our legacy now. So obviously it's huge, but Dan kept us on track, and we knew this was going to be a hard game. They're a great team. You know, obviously they have a backup quarterback in, but at the same time, he's more than good enough to compete in this league. So, you know, their defense is great. So credit to them, but, you know, we came on top.
Dan Campbell brought you in to help be the foundation of this defense, and this week he says this game is like any other game. Why is the outcome, NFC North title, not like any other outcome, though?
You know, just because it's been so long. You know, I mean, North's been, since 2002, has never been done here, and, you know, it's just something that we should really hang our hat on. Obviously, the job's not finished, but you know, just something we should be proud of, and it was our first goal of many. So we got that. We can check that off the list, and we're moving on.
What's the next goal?
We'll see. Seeding, I guess.
Thanks, Alex.
Saint, great game. Is that the best catch you've ever made?
Actually, there was one better.
When? The Chicago game?
Minnesota?
No, getting Cure Auto Insurance.
Are you for real?
Seriously, when I got here in Michigan, car insurance was the worst. But saving up to 40% by switching to Cure was my best catch.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. Welcome back to Minneapolis. Lomas Brown, Dannie Rogers joining you now. You just heard from one of the captains of the Detroit Lions team, Alex Anzalone, on the defense. Let's take a look at the offense. Scoring was nice and plentiful here today when the Detroit Lions needed it. They capitalized a lot off of those defensive turnovers, which was massive. Lots of complimentary football here today. Let's take a look at the touchdown scores. David Montgomery, 17 carries for 55 rushing yards and a TD. Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie, coming up with 2 big touchdowns. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, his 8th 100 receiving yard game, and he cracks 100 receptions on the season. He also picked up a touchdown. Going back to Gibbs, those 2 touchdowns today put this rookie class on top in Lions franchise history for the most touchdowns scored.
Danny, we've been saying it all year long. Those young guys have come in here and they have made an impact on this team, on this organization, on this city. I mean, it's amazing how they came, all three of them. I mean, it's amazing just how they stepped into this game. And I always say it's a learning curve when you get to the NFL. Well, these guys seem to be ahead of that learning curve. They've been putting up big numbers all year long, and they have been the reason why we're sitting in the position that we're sitting in today.
They sure have been. And the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs is our player of the game because every single time he touched the ball, he was electric.
Yes.
Does not go down after the first contact. Scrimmage yards, averages 100 scrimmage yards per game, which is insane for a rookie. He's first in the NFL with 20-yard rushes. He's tied for first when rushing touchdowns among rookies. He had 7 coming into today. That means he is first, and he's 6th in scrimmage yards per game. That's in the NFL. That is a rookie doing that.
Yes.
How's he able to put so much on his plate, Lomas?
Because he's just a mixed match with whoever you put out on the field with him. You can't cover him with a linebacker. I don't think you could cover him with a safety because he's big and physical. So, you can't cover this guy. So he creates such a bad matchup for defenses. And Ben Johnson, he's been using him brilliantly. He's been putting them in the slot, putting them out wide, putting them in the backfield, of course. He's been lining up all over the field, and that's a nightmare for defenses trying to pinpoint him, find him, and stop him.
Well, he's doing exactly what this staff thought he could do, what he showed on in the college tape. Now let's hear from the head coach, Dan Campbell, on this NFC North title win.
The faithful are here. How's it going? It's a hell of a win. That goes without saying. We knew it was going to come down to the fourth quarter. That's a good opponent. They've got a lot of skill and they play hard, and we know what they're about in their own home too. So that's a credit to our players, man. And I'm proud of a number of people in this organization. Certainly proud of the coaches and the players. And this is special. This is special. It's something you don't get to do all the time. They're always special to win a division. I don't care how many of them you get because of the work that goes into it. But to do something that hadn't been done in 30 years for a team is special. And that's a special group of men back in there that are staying tame at this point.
Dan, your first game in this building, I think, as a Lions coach was a tough one, an emotional one for you. It's the opposite of the spectrum here. Just what emotions are you experiencing in this moment?
Yeah, I'm pretty ecstatic, man. This is special. This is special, but like I said, it's a special group, and this is just the beginning. We feel that way. So, there again, I couldn't be more proud of the guys.
Special. Can you explain just in your eyes beyond the games what they got here? What makes it special?
Well, no different than how this game went, right? Things you have to battle there in the first half, and they are able to score right before halftime. You come out second half, they go back down the field and they score, and then we put together 2 drives, and all of a sudden you're back up 2 scores, and then we don't, and defensively we start holding, and next thing you know, you're at the end of this game, and it's just gone back and forth. But nobody got frazzled, nobody lost their cool, and when we needed it in the crunch times, we made plays. And man, that's what good teams do. They find ways to win the game instead of the other way, and that's not an easy thing to do. But when you got the right guys who mesh together and they work for each other and they care about each other and they're accountable to each other, it makes a difference.
Those 2 drives you mentioned back-to-back, you guys are falling behind. I'm curious, you go back to you and Brad talking the first few times you guys are had. I'm talking about what kind of program and how you're envisioning it. You imagine that on the road, that kind of noise, vision on the line, 30 years of history of the moment, and you come up with those 2 drives, because those is impressive drives in a lot of ways, considered this circumstance.
Yeah, are you just saying?
You first took over, and you look Brad, is this
Yeah.
what you're thinking about? You're talking
Yeah, I mean,
put
yeah.
a team together that can do what they just
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if you know, certainly to know that it's going to end, you're going to do this on the road and get the first one. But yeah, I know this, when you're around good teams and it's designed the right way and you got the right coaches and people in management, and you got the right GM and the owner and the team, all of it, you just find ways. You find ways to, you can endure in any environment. It doesn't matter what the score is. It doesn't matter the elements. It doesn't matter where the momentum's at that time. You'll find a way to overcome it. And that's really what we got here. We got a group of guys that has found a way to overcome it. And look, we've learned hard lessons through a period of time here. I mean, we learned a hard one here. You know, first year we did. You know, we were basically found a way we fought back in it and went for 2 to win the game, and then we gave up a big shot right before the end of the game for them to kick it for the win, you know. And then last year we had it, you know, we're up and you just got to close it out, and we didn't handle the 4-minute well. Offensively, we could have closed that game out, and I made an awful decision. You learn from those, man, and it makes you better. And you hate that it happens to you, but it does make you better. You learn from it, and everybody, because most of that team, most of that core is still here from last year. I mean, that is our core. So anyway, I'm proud of everybody. This has been a long time coming, and I'm proud of all the Lions fans out there that have been dying for this for years, man. That was for you too, you know. I know it's been a long time, so you deserve that, and it's not over. That's just one.
If he the last 2 weeks, 2 critical turnovers, my guy steps in the starting line 3 weeks ago and is making really ways for you guys. His performance.
Just another outstanding performance. That's, you know, here we go, man. Week 2 of this, and he's not just out there playing football and, you know, solid performance. He's a factor. He's a factor, and he's just getting better and better. You know, he's instinctive, and you see the athletic ability. He plays physically, and he's just getting better and better. I mean, he really is. We're going to have a good problem to have when Ducey comes back here. I mean, that's, you know, that just brings another playmaker to the mix. So he's doing well.
We talked about Justin Jefferson this week. Made some big plays at the end of the half. Made the ridiculous grab on the 3rd and 27. Just what is the mood on the headsets with AG as that drive is progressing, and you know you need to get a big stop, and he's playing that way?
Yeah, you're talking about Jefferson? Yeah, well, I mean, he made a couple plays where he's doubled. I mean, you know, we're in good position. We just can't, you know, look, the guy's going to make some plays. So I think more than anything, you're in the position of, all right, next play. I mean, that really is what it is. It's not, you know, what happened? What did he do? Blah, blah, blah. It's, okay, here we go, man. You're right into the next one because the next one's going to be the one that's going to create the stop or the takeaway. So I thought we handled all that well. Was it perfect? No, but that's the nature of that's the nature of it, you know. The guy's a hell of a player. He is.
Hey, can you share all what you?
I'll come to you next.
Hey, can you share all what you said to Sheila, or what she said to you in there, and what it means to get that?
Listen, just excitement. It was just excitement. I mean, the look on her face and just a pure joy and happiness, and watching the celebration with the coaches and the players and everybody, you know, watching her interact. I mean, it feels good. And so, you know, I promised her we'd get her that, and we did that, and that's one.
Some young players on this team that have known more winning than losing, and certainly they played a key role in the success this year.
Yep.
What about a guy like Taylor Decker, who this is now for him the first thing? He was pretty emotional coming off. What do you feel for a guy like that who's spent so much time on sweat and tears with the
Yeah, you feel for those. You know, there's something about that does make it special. And like I said, look, you'll never forget the first one you get, and this is the first one. And you're right, the young guys, this is for the most part kind of what they know, and that's a good thing. That's the way you want it. But for the old guard, which, you know, for Decker and for Frank and Germ and Will Harris and Romeo, and I mean, you keep going. Tracy, man, that's kind of, you want that for them. You kind of feel like this first one is a little bit for you too, and because we couldn't have done it without them, and all that they've been through, really to get to this point, all the work that they've put in, all the hope, all the belief, all the systems, and it just doesn't work out. And for them to just believe one more time in what we're doing and trust us and mesh with us and give us what they got, they're one of the biggest reasons we even got this one. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them, and it's special because they deserve that. They deserve that.
Football in Gibbs' hands in the second half a lot. He delivered the game that he did, and also the offensive line against a really good defense.
O-line showed up again. They did an outstanding job. There was nothing easy about getting ready for this defense. I thought Ben put together a really, really good game plan for them on how we needed to attack them. And the O-line, we felt like as long as we got it ID'd properly, which we felt good about Frank and JG finding the right looks, we did that well. And as long as we did that, we felt like we could hold up, and we did, man. We did better than hold up. And Goff found our guys, because there's holes. You just got to find them, and they don't make it easy. And then our guys did the rest. Gibbs did the rest. St. Brown did the rest. Speed and space, man, and let them go.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll have Frank, Taylor, Jared, and next.
Did you put that on in front of the players?
No, I did put on the hat. I got this, yeah. In my locker. All right. The faithful are here.
Saint, great game. Is that the best catch you've ever made?
Actually, there was one better.
When? The Chicago game?
Minnesota?
No, getting Cure Auto Insurance.
Are you for real?
Seriously, when I got here in Michigan, car insurance was the worst. But saving up to 40% by switching to Cure was my best catch.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. You heard head coach Dan Campbell say how difficult the task was to go up against this Minnesota Vikings defense, which had a bunch of nuances, a ton of new wrinkles each week. This offense delivered, including Amon-Ra St. Brown, who has our play of the game. We're going back to the third quarter. Remember, it would take Jahmyr Gibbs getting wide open on 4th and 1 to convert, and then setting up this touchdown pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown in the end zone. Lions would go up 23-21. Extra point was no good. I had a feeling that might come back to haunt them. It did not.
No,
not all the way.
It didn't.
But Amon-Ra St. Brown, another game over 100 receiving yards. He is such a foundational piece to this offense.
Just
what does he bring each week?
It's incredible, Danny, what he brings each and every week. And I always like to say a sense of comfort. That's what he brings to Jared Goff. That's what he brings to this offense. And on that touchdown pass, I got to give the big fellas a lot of credit up front. They gave Jared so much time. Amon-Ra was able to come all the way across the end zone. And that doesn't happen unless you get protection. So kudos to the offensive line, but kudos to Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown for being that connection we've used and relied on all year long.
A newer player that this Detroit Lions defense is relying on is safety Afatu Melifonwu. This past week, we heard from defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn that rookie Brian Branch's reps would go down, so Melifonwu's reps could go up, and you are seeing the fruits of that labor turn out. Here you see Afatu 5 tackles on the day, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, an interception, 2 PDs. He was everywhere today. How are you seeing him grow right before our eyes?
Yeah, and Danny was clean with penalties too. So I just love the way he's playing right now. He's a big physical guy that's not afraid to mix it up in there. Aaron Glenn can play him deep, because he is a great cover guy, but Aaron Glenn could play him towards the line of scrimmage because he's a sure tackler. So it's great to see him getting his kudos. Great to see him have a great game.
Another big piece of the secondary is Kirby Joseph, who led all Lions in tackles today. The main part of his story, though, those 2 interceptions. The first one, he almost forgot to keep running and pick up 22 yards on it. He wanted to celebrate sooner. But Joseph, he is turning into such a big key to this defense too.
Like a center fielder in baseball, that's what he was like out there today. He played the deep safety, and when it were plays to be made, he came up and made it. Those 2 interceptions were very, very impressive, especially with his closing speed to be able to get over there and get those interceptions. Again, another exciting young player that we've added to the mix that's bringing a lot of juice, bringing a lot of energy to that defense, and making big impact plays.
Ooh, and another exciting player to watch is the rookie Brian Branch. He was all over the field today. A little slower start to this game than usual. He had a penalty called on him, then dropped an interception, but he redeemed himself with another INT and picked up 6 tackles on the day along with a forced fumble. Branch is catching on, even with a lot on his plate, too.
Oh, yes, he is, Danny. And, again, he's a rookie. So we have to remember this is a rookie we're talking about. But he's been playing like a veteran all year long. He stepped in early in the year, was getting big minutes. Now that we got so many guys that are making good plays back there, we can kind of slow him down a little bit. But he's a great player. He's going to be a great player for a long time for the Detroit Lions.
He sure will be. Up next, the Dallas Cowboys for these Detroit Lions. You can tell, though, in the Motor City, it is all business. Even though playoffs and the division are clinched, there's still a lot left to play for. What are your final takeaways from this game?
Yeah, Danny, again, a tough game that we were able to clinch the NFC North. But that can't be all we want. Again, that second seed is sitting out there right now for us, but we had to go to Texas and we got to take care of business against a Dallas team that plays very, very good at home. So it'll be a great test for us. I think it'll be a great measuring stick for us at this time in the season just to see where we stack up in the NFC.
Alex Anzalone said next goal up, probably seeding after getting that division title. What a great time. Are you just so excited?
Danny, I don't know how to contain it.
I know.
I've been doing a good job of containing it, but the big fella wanted to dance. I wanted to do everything today because I'm so happy.
I love that for you, for these Lions, for Sheila Hamp, like Dan Campbell had mentioned, especially Coach Campbell and Brad Holmes, who make a lot of decisions for this team.
How they've built this team in such a short time, they deserve all the credit. Like you say, Sheila Hamp for giving them the power, giving them that opportunity to go out and build this team. And I like to say this to all the alumni out there. We did it, guys.
Woo!
We did 2023 NFC North champions.
Oh, man. Love it for the Motor City. All right, for Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. Thanks for tuning in to the Detroit Lions Live post-game show from Minneapolis. We will see you next week.
Yes.
Dallas Cowboys. And reminder, if you want to watch some more Detroit Lions content, head to DetroitLions.com and check our social media pages. It's all right there for you. All right, we'll see you next week, Week 17.